Right, guys, so our first booth here is Underwater World. He brought a nice mix of Euphilia, as you can see, some torches as well as some hammers. Nice big wall hammer up front there, as well as a pretty cool grafted one. Also had some Ganies over here on the right side and some chalices and mushrooms in the back here, including a little jawbreaker. He also had some Duncans, some Zoas, some nice chunky pieces there, as well as some higher end ones up front. Also had some button scolies, some acans, some Ganiastrayas, as well as some trumpets and blastos. And you can see he had some of his higher end torches here, some of his golds and cotton candies over on this side. A nice mix of colors. Next up we have Reef Aquaculture Specialists. If you guys have been to a lot of shows, you've probably seen them around. They travel all over the country. We also saw them at Reefapalooza. Over here he's got some mushrooms as well as some Rhodactis mushrooms in the back there. You can see some discos, some more Rhodactises, as well as some Gonioporas over here. He always has a ton of Gonioporas, and they're always super well extended. So you can see he also had some pretty cool chalices in the back there. These Ganies had fantastic extension, really nice coloration as well. They're always super happy and do really well for him. Over here he had some Acan Bowerbankies, which are a little bit more uncommon, as well as some Stratosphere Zoas and some other Acans, some Holy Grail Micro Musas, some Asian Acans in the back as well there. You can see a nice mix of Asian Acans. Those guys are a little bit rarer and harder to find. It's a really nice variety there. Some Rainbow Acans here. These are the Lords. Some Lobos with some nice coloration to them. Also had some torches, of course, like this nice Holy Grail. There were quite a few different torches he had. Some nice golds there, some double heads, some chunky pieces. Again, really great extension on all his corals. You don't really find closed up pieces at his booth. They're always nice and happy and really well extended. He had some more torches and some hammers, of course. So you can see the Indo golds there, some purples, some little hammer bouquets in the back, as well as some more up front there. Also had Zoas, a lot of different Zoas, a lot of nice high-end ones, as well as some standards like Bam Bams and stuff. A little bit of something for everybody. You can see he also had some mushroom pucks there, some little gardens as well, with a bunch of different Yumas on them, as well as some Zoas over here, some Zoa combo rocks, which are cool to see, these big guys, as well as some Clove Polyps, some Gorgonians, some Duncans, some Acan Echinatas. He was definitely the only person who brought Acan Echinatas, some Galaxia, some Grafted Digi, some Favites, a really interesting Favites there. Also had some Blastomerletes, some Cyphastrias, and these really cool anemones that had all this splattering. Next up is the Fish Room. They are a local store here in Charlotte. They had some coral colonies there, as well as you can see longhorn cowfish, which is pretty cool. They had some frags there, some Zoa frags, some Euphilia frags. Not a ton of coral, but what they mostly brought was fish and inverts. As you can see, there's a little goby down there, along with some starfish, some snails, and you can see they had some more fish over here. Some copper band butterfly, some angels, some puffers, clownfish, of course. You have to have the clownfish. Then down here in this bottom tank, they had some more tangs. Nice flame angel there, little clown trigger, as well as some damsels all mixed in there. And in this tank were some of the bigger, more non-reef safe fish. You can see they had some hawkfish, some triggers, harlequin tusk. Over here they had some seahorses, which are really cool, as well as some nice peaceful gobies. In this tank were some more of their fish. You can see the yellow tangs, some of the firefish, as well as some royal grama, yellow banded possum wrasse, some clowns, a couple more tangs, some cardinals, some Helfricki firefish, Banggai cardinals there, as well as a couple more clownfish. Next up, definitely my favorite booth, the Queen City Corals booth. We brought a bunch of different corals. You can see some clams, some trachees, some scolies. All of our clams are captive bred from ORA. We really like the captive bred ones because they do a lot better. That was our $15 coral rack. You guys can check out more $15 corals on our website, as well as some of our meteor pieces, some Indophilias and Cinerinas. We also had some button scolies as well over here, and some chalices that we had brought that we are farming out, and then some mushrooms and acans. We also brought some of our jawbreakers to the show. We just got a bunch of different jawbreakers in, so definitely look for those guys on the website. We also brought some of our rock flowers. Those are definitely some of our most popular pieces. There's also some torches here, some golds, as well as some of the black lights over there on that left side. You can see we brought some ASD Holy Grail and a nice reverse tiger there. Those guys are available on the website. And we also have some hammers up on this front rack, along with some of our frog spawns. As you can see, we had some show special pricing, $30 hammers. Definitely some really great deals at this show. And you can see our softies over there. Next up, we have Oceanic Gardens. Gabe is from Chicago and has been to several shows. He's also a part of Reefing USA, so if you guys go to any of those shows, he will definitely be there. He was at the one in Charlotte and always brings some pretty cool corals like this big plate coral, some elegances, these hammer bouquets, as well as some nice chalices. You can see the hammers here and some acan colonies. Over here he had some of his torches, all nice and moving in that flow. You can see he had a bunch of different varieties, as well as some acans, some button scolies, some ganies, some little plate corals, as well as a couple more ganies. These plate corals are really cool. Next up in this tank, he had some of his softies. You can see some clove polyps, some zoas, nice chunky zoa frags there. You can see he had some mushrooms over here on the left side, a bunch of different varieties. Next up is JP Corals. They always bring some of these beautiful Chicago sunburst anemones with absolutely fantastic coloration. They grow a lot of their stuff, and as you can see, they have some nice chunky acro colonies. You can see some hammers, some torches, all nice and happy there as well. Underneath, he has some multi-headed pieces, which is nice to see. A lot of times you'll just see single heads. Had some of their hammers and frog spawns up front there, and some colonies over there on the left side, and some rainbow bubble tips. Next up is TRSC Aquatics. Tristan is local here in Charlotte, but definitely goes to a lot of shows all over the country. You can see he had some acans over here, some frog spawns over here on this rack, and over here he had some button scolies, a bunch of different varieties, some greens, some purples, some reds, nice mix with some scolies in the back there. And there are definitely a bunch of different chalices, nice chunky colonies if people are looking for a big piece of chalice. The only thing you got to worry about with those guys is that they definitely put out some pretty long sweeper tentacles. Over here he had some of his acros over on the left side, as well as some hammers in this tank. A lot of different varieties there. You can see it some really great extension on some of these acros on this other rack, and a nice mix. Also some digis. Over here were some of his torches. You can see he had some gold, some cotton candies. In this tank was his bigger stuff, so you can see some acanthos, some Indophilias, some Cinerinas, as well as a couple wall hammers and some bigger mushrooms. Nice chunky Cinerina there. Some unique Acanthophilias, some trachees as well over here. A bunch of different color varieties with some Indophilias on the right side. Indophilias are definitely one of my favorites just because of the coloration. Kind of like a mix between an Acanthophilia and a Cinerina. You can see some Cinerinas as well with some nice greens and pinks mixed in there. He had some elegances over here with some nice pink tips. You can see there's also some more trachees that he had and some more acanthophylias with a nice mix of colors. This red one was really cool, and that one was definitely hungry. He had all his feeding tentacles out, and a bunch of different stuff here. Sparkly one with a little bit of orange was pretty cool. Nice lobo there, and this super bright trachea that really pops. Next up, we have frost corals. He had some euphyllia in this tank, some hammers and framers over here, as well as some torches on this rack here. Some pinks, some greens, little variety there with some pink tips. Some more euphyllia over here on this rack, and then the next tank is a lot of mushrooms. You can see these are pretty much all rhodactis mushrooms. Some nice coloration to them. And then over here on the next rack were some zoas with some grandis pallies mixed in there. The grandis pallies are really cool. They're nice and big and have some really great color, as you can see. You also had some different encrusters, some encrusting monties, some leptos, some acan bowerbankies, a couple duncans in the back there with some bernardoporas. Those are like a microgoni, some blastos, favias, of course the clove polyps there. You also had some acans and goniastreas on this rack with some of the other different duncans over there. Some more acans and mushrooms and zoas. Over on the right side, he had some blastos, a couple wilsonii, some elegances. On this little rack here, a lot of smaller ones, which is nice for people with smaller tanks. He also had some Chicago sunburst anemones over here. As you can see, they're in their yellow phase. He had some scolies, a bunch of different varieties here, some war paints, some bleeding apples, some of his larger colony pieces like that wilsonii there with some really great color to it, some dragon soul favias in the back there, which are technically goniastreas, some plate corals up front here, some oranges, some greens, a little bit of blues, as well as some trachees over here on the right side. A lot of different stuff in his tank. Over here in this tank, you can see he had a big fuzzy mushroom rock, as well as a couple fox corals, which are really unique, and some acans over here in this tank. A lot of different color varieties. He had some acan echinatas, as well as some pavonas, some clove polyps, more duncans, some recordia mushrooms, some leptos, as well as a couple chalices. You can see he had some more fox corals, which are really cool. Some plate corals, some long tentacle plate corals back there, some more fuzzy mushrooms, a bunch of different clove polyps over here on this rack, and some rainbow bubble tip anemones over here, some more duncans and zoas, some pallies, as well as some blastos. Over in this tank were some of his non-photosynthetic pieces. You can see some of the sun corals there, some yellow sun corals, some pink sun corals, some gorgonians in the back there, as well as some xenia and some anthilia or sarsaparilla. That stuff is a bit of a weed, but it's nice for softy tanks that just are a little bit bigger and want something to kind of fill it in. You can see it had some yellow Fiji leathers, as well as all these blueberry gorgonians. These guys are non-photosynthetic, so you have to feed them. Also had some kryptonite trumpets, as well as some toadstool leathers and some bigger sun coral colonies. See the yellow Fiji leathers right there, really nice under white light, and you can see the pink sun coral colony there, some really vibrant color. This tank was full of gorgonians, the reds and the yellow ones. Again, non-photosynthetic, so you do have to feed those guys. Next up is Supreme Reefs. They had some really nice pieces. You can see some galaxia, some mushrooms, some monties, as well as some acans. Nice, really bright monties there. Some rainbow acans, as well as some zoas, and a couple chalices and goniastreas. See some recordias there. This rack had some more zoas, recordias, a couple more monties, some cyphastrias, some grafted stylistinellas. This rack here had one of my favorite mushrooms from the entire show. That thing was absolutely gorgeous. Some Duncan colonies, as well as little elegance in the back there. You see some of the St. Thomas and some bounce mushrooms. That one had fat bubble. You see the magic carpet in front of it. You also had some rainbow bubble tip anemones in that basket there. In this tank were some cloudberry chalices that are really nicely encrusted, next to some parietes, some cyphastrias, a lot of encrusting corals, some favites, leptos, more montes, as well as some blastos and zoas mixed in there. You can see some nice cyphastrias, a litho, some stendro corals, some more stylistinellas, acans, really a mix of a lot of different varieties. Some pretty unique pieces in here, some clove polyps, some more montes and leptos there, as well as some different stylos, some grandis pallies, some nice zoas there. You can see all the different varieties he brought, even some blue symposium and some other different clove polyps. I had this nice pricing sheet that lets you see all the pricing, which is very transparent, and definitely makes it easier to see how much things are going to cost. You can see he had some nice zoas, some Miami Vices, some solar eclipses, some acans, some Asian acans, as well as some clams in the back here. He had some crocias, some durasas, a nice chalice up front there, with some really nice color to it, as well as some more acan bowerbankies. A lot of acan bowerbankies at the show, which I was a little surprised about, just because they're not usually super common. A lot of different euphyllias there. Next up, we have Leon's Lagoon. They are located in South Carolina. You can see they brought some nice acanthophyllias, some trachees, as well as some endophyllias with some nice color to them. In this side, on this rack, were some sticks, as well as some euphyllia, some ganies, some microganies. They brought some candy, which is always appreciated. Also, some rainbow bubble tip anemones, some Duncans, zoas, montes, leptos. Nice variety of stuff. You can see some Pandora zoas and some nice montes in there, as well as some more montes, some birds' nests. Nice variety. A lot of the Sunset Monty, which is a really nice variety that I've got to cut up soon. Some clove polyps there, as well as some more montes and zoas. A lot of chunky frags. As you can see, that monte is nice and big. Next up is Trash Panda Aquaculture. They drove all the way up from Florida, and you guys have probably seen these guys at other shows. They travel all around the country. As you can see, they brought some hammer bouquets, which are nice, and had some nice varieties of color. A good way to add a nice mix of color. Similar to our Instant Gardens, just a little bit bigger. They also had a ton of these nice rainbow bubble tip anemones, a little tank full of them. These are all aquacultured, which is nice to see. They also had some nice torches there, some nice golds, along with some of the Joker torches, and some Dragon Souls over here on this right side. Some really nice acanthophilia, and some branching GSP, some Xenia, some frog spawn bouquets there, as well as some more acanthophilias in this tank, some of their bigger stuff. Nice big chalice colony there, some trachees, as well as some more acanthophilias, and some pincushion mushrooms up at the front here. In this little box, they had some jawbreakers, some really nice color to them. Nice Candy Crush there. And then over here they had some rainbow acans and some rainbow chalices. Little rainbow rack there. Some really nice chunky rainbow chalices, as well as some zoas. These are some of their higher end zoas. You can see some fairy farts, some exospheres, as well as some kamikaze kush. Some of their other zoas, some bird's nests in this tank as well. Some chunkier frags here. Over up top were some more zoas and some clove polyps, along with some cyphastrias and other encrusters. Over on this rack were some of their hammers. You can see they're nice and chunky. Next up is Iconic Aquariums. Now they had a bunch of clams, and these are actually squamosa clams, which are a little bit harder to find, but they have some really spectacular coloration to them, and some Chicago sunbursts in the basket there. A bunch of chalices and encrusters over here on this rack, which are definitely some of my favorites. You can see the nice rainbow chalice there, as well as some different cyphastrias and some blastomerlettis. Over on this rack were some torches and hammers, also some elegances on the left side. He had a bunch of different zoas that he farms out, different frags here, some seduction, some rainbow incinerators, mind tricks, awesome blossoms, sunflowers, oompa loompas, all different kinds. On this rack he had some ganies, some really nice micro ganies there, the Bernardoporas. He also had an amazeballs. I think that was the only one at the show. These nice red ganies with the green mouths as well. A bunch of different ganies with some really great extension. You can see all the pink ones in the back are super happy there. Over here on this rack, he had a mix of acans, some more zoas, as well as some acan bowerbankies up front there. Nice mix of different varieties. This basket had some more anemones in it, and this tank had a lot of the bigger stuff. You can see some chalices there, as well as some zoas. Nice variety of different zoas there. A lot of zoas that he brought. He grows a lot of those guys out, as well as some maxi mini carpet anemones and some more big pieces, little long tentacle plate coral. Next up is Palmetto Reef out of Columbia, South Carolina. They got a shop down there. Really interesting place. They brought some of their corals up here. They had some zoas, some mushrooms as well, some nice chunky zoa frags, some really interesting bounce mushrooms here, as well as some ganies. As you can see, they had some pink ones, some green ones, some purple, a variety of colors there. Over on this rack were some acans, some blastos, as well as some cyphastrias and encrusters, and some rainbow chalices in the back. Really nice different varieties there. Some pink diamond zoas, as well as some wilsoneyes. A lot of different wilsoneyes. In this tank was some of their euphilia. You can see the hammers there on those racks next to some of the torches on this rack. A lot of different varieties there. Some dragon souls in the back with some nice color to them, as well as a nice sunburst anemone. You can see some of the montes they grow out here on this rack, and some acros and birds' nests in the back, as well as some anacroporas. Really nice variety of acros in this little tank, and some more of their wilsoneyes. You can see this guy was absolutely massive. One of the biggest wilsoneyes I've ever seen. Really nice coloration as well to it. Nice trachea, little elegance there. A beautiful acanthophilia, as well as a little double-headed endophilia, which is unique to see. Next up, we've got Coral Vault from Texas. He brought a little tank here with some nice rainbow bubble tips in the back there, as well as some Gonioporas, some pink lemonade ganies, some pink ones, nice cyphastrias, as well as some other encrusters, some Hollywood Stunner Chalice, some zoas, some xenia, a bunch of different cyphastrias up front there, as well as some chalices in the center here, some montes, little dragon soul torch, some more encrusting favites, stylistinellas, some nice raven blasto merlettis there, some more encrusters up front here, including some stylistinellas, some leptostreas, some leptoceras. Next up we have Pet Paradise. They had a couple of tanks, as well as some freshwater plants over here on the side. But in these tanks, they had a bunch of different zoas, some really low prices over here, and I was a little surprised they didn't sell more. A bunch of different zoas, some favias as well, a lot of different varieties. This whole tank was just $10. You can see some Bozo's birthday there, some clove polyps, as well as some xenia, some Keds Reds, some Spitfires, as well as some Rastas, some Pandoras, some VDM Zoas as well in this tank, some Clove Polyps, some Oompa Loompas, some John Deere Leptostrea, as well as some acros here. You can see some Anacroporas, some Millies, some Stags, some Stylos, some Chalices. Grows a lot of Chalices out. All this stuff is farmed. He has a pretty good sized farm, and he does a lot of different stuff, but it's mostly Zoas, Chalices, Encrusters, things like that. Some Pink Zippers, some Chucky's Bride, some more Acros over here, as well as a couple Hammers, some Duncans. Really nice stained glass chalice there with some absolutely fantastic coloration. You can see he had some Rainbow Eclipses there, as well as a grafted Cyphastria, some frags of that stained glass chalice for just $50, which was really nice. He also had some Favias over here that were grown out into a little bit bigger pieces, some Montes, some more Zoas. Blood Diamond Favias are really nice. I got a colony of that. Some more Montes back here, as well as some Cyphastrias. Next up is North America Coral Labs from Texas. They brought, as you can see, some Acans on this rack over here, as well as some Zoas, a couple Chalices, and some more Chalices over here, a few Leptostreas, some more of the Zoas over here, some nice chunky frags. Over here they had some more Chalices, some Montes, as well as some Stylostanellas, some more Leptostreas, some nice bloodshot Zoas there, with some really nice coloration, as well as some El Corazones. Those Zoas have a couple different names. Really nice, unique Bleeding Apple Scoli there, and some more Scolies, some red ones, as well as some Trachees up front there, some Montes, as well as a couple more Chalices, Favias, some Mushrooms, as well as some Acros in the back there. He had quite a few different Acros that were nice and chunky, as well as some Bird's Nests, some Digis, some Manila Spy Monty, nice chunky Chalice up there, as well as a double head Scoli. You can see he had 2 of those Chalice colonies that he brought, as well as some more different SPS, some Stylos there. He had some branching GSP frags, which are really unique, as well as some other Chalices. You can see a Cloudberries there, some Hammers, as well as some Torches, some more Zoas, as well as a couple Blastos, some Acan Echinatas, some Montes, some Cyphastrias, some more Montes up front, little beach bum there, some nice coloration. Also had some more Chalices in the back there, really unique coloration of this one, and some Pavonas as well. Also had more Zoas over here on this rack, and some of his Torches up front there, some of the Cotton Candies and some of the Green Tips, some more chunky Zoas, as well as some more Mushrooms, Chalices. Next up is Aquarium Specialty from Columbia, South Carolina. They brought some of their corals, some of their hammers. They were one of the vendors that also had dry goods, so anyone who was looking for some dry goods, they ship all over the country. And if you are local, North Carolina, South Carolina area, they are definitely the fastest shipping. It gets there when we order it, basically the next day, which is awesome. You can see they had some Ghanies, some Scolies, some Wilsoneyes as well. Some nice Ghani frags there. You can see some Montes and Chalices up front there, as well as some Duncans, some Acans, some Mummy Eye Chalices, as well as some Button Scolies, Space Invader Pictinia, some more of those Scolies there, some unique coloration of those guys, as well as some Torches in the back here. See some gold Torches, some Cotton Candies, all different kinds of varieties, some smaller pieces in the back. You can see had some rock flower anemones as well, with some really nice colors to them. Rock flowers are definitely one of my favorites because they're so easy. Some Dioserius plates, some Wilsonii, So you had some zoas and some blastos, some favias, some duncans, of course, as well as some trumpets, a little leptostrea there, as well as some nice chunky zoa frags over here, some cyphastrias, some favias, some little SPS, some digitatas, some more montiporas, more zoas, some pandoras. Don't Coral Me Crazy is the next booth. They had some zoas over here on this little rack. You can see some citrus coolers, some stratospheres, as well as some emeralds on fire, some scrambled eggs, a lot of different varieties there, as well as some combos in the back. See a nice speckled crack there, some Bozo's Birthday, and that big combo there. They had some Ghanies here. See a lot of different Ghanies, some rainbow Ghanies, as well as some green Ghanies. See, they also had some Acan Echinata and some chalices, as well as some of their torches here. You can see some of the blue tip torches, some of the dragon souls, some of the other jester golds, and nice mix there of gold torches. Also had some frog spawns over on the right side, as well as some acanthophilias there. In the next tank, they had a big long tentacle plate coral, as well as this big lobo colony, another lobo up front there, and then some St. Thomas and rock flower anemones there. Those guys are super easy to care for and do really well usually. You can see some acans in the back, as well as some green star polyps, some gorgonians, some blue sympodium, some parietes, some cyphastrias, as well as a lot of different encrusters. See some mushrooms here, red raunchy bounce. That was definitely the only one of those I saw. Some more of the little combo rocks with a nice variety of zoas and even some GSP. You can see some of the hammers that they brought here, as well as some Xenia in the back. Next up is Rosa's Reef. Over here on this right side, they had some of their encrusters. You can see some Monties, nice grafted Monty there with some nice mix of colors, as well as some Pavonas, some other different Monties and chalices, Hydnophora, some trumpets. You can see a bunch of different trumpet varieties there that you don't normally see. The blue center is pretty cool on those guys. And Astriopora, which is a pretty unique piece. Some of the trachees here. You can see all the different colors that they have of those guys. Little Blasto colony here, purple with the green center. Christmas tree worm rock, as well as a nice big acantho there. You see they had some hammers, some of these gold guys, as well as some of the framers and some nice Aussie ones. You can see they had some hologram hammers over here, as well as some golds, some purples. You can see they had some gold torches in the back here, along with some of the blue tips. Some more of their hammers up front here. They also had some frog spawns. These with the blue tips were nice and happy, as you can tell. They also had some octo spawns over here with a nice mix of colors to them. They had more of their torches over here. You can see some of the gold torches there, as well as some dragon souls, some of the blue tips there in the back, as well as some of the green tips, some more of the gold torches. On this rack were some of their mushrooms. See, they had a nice Yuma in the back there, as well as some Rhodactyses, some more Zoas. They had some nice chunky frags of Bob Marley Zoas, which are definitely one of the classics, as well as some Bam Bams. Next up is Ward's Aquatics out of Virginia. If you guys watched our Reefapalooza video, he was in that. You can see he's got some high-end sticks, some hammers, a little Mausolea coral, as well as a little elegance there. Some chalices here with some nice coloration to them, as well as a Monty, a Favia, Leptostrea, some nice cultured Holy Grail torches there, along with some different hammers, some more chalices, some zoas, He grows out all his corals, so they're always super healthy, nice and chunky, and looking nice and happy. You can see some elegances on the left side there, as well as some more montes and chalices. In this tank were some more of his encrusters, so you can see a lot of favias, a lot of chalices, a lot of montes, leptostreas, a nice mix of colors. You can see there's even some Bernardipora in there, nice Galaxia, some Zoas, and a couple more Ganis in there. Next up is Pop Corals from New York. Made the drive all the way from New York. What a champ. I can't imagine driving that far for a show. Maybe just because I'm a baby. In this tank we had some Ganis, some mushrooms, some hammers, as well as some button scolies up front there, little rainbow chalice, Space Invader Pictinia. He had some torches over here, some blue tipped green torches, some dragon souls as well. Dragon souls were definitely a popular torch at the show. Almost everyone who had torches had those guys. He also had over here some pretty cool multicolored tip frog spawns and octo spawns. You can see he added some Zoas, some Wilsoneyes, more chalices and acans, as well as some elegance and bubble corals. See, he had some acros, some grafted digis, which is really cool, as well as some bird's nests. Over here were some of his bigger stuff. Nice acanthophilia there, some elegances, some trachees, nice bowerbanky, bunch of elegances, some plate corals up front there, some scolies, of course. Had some war paints, some bleeding apples, long tentacle plate coral, as well as some more acanthophilias, some really nice color. Acan colonies, nice little rainbow acan colony there. Some lobos, as well as some more Wilsoneyes and another acan bowerbanky colony in the back there with some really nice color to it. Some wall hammers. In this tank were some of his rock flowers. As you can see, some nice coloration of these guys. A lot of oranges, some nice bright colors. In this tank were some clams. So he had some Durasas as well as some Maximas. In this tank were some of his frags. So he had some acans, Zoas, green star polyp. He had some Anacroporas, some bird's nests, some montes, some mushrooms, some trumpets and Duncans. A lot of beginner-friendly corals, some favias, xenia up front here as well. In this tank were some starfish. He also had a really nice yellow tang there, and some gorgonias and feather dusters. See, he had some shrimp as well. Riptide Aquaculture is next. They are from Florida, and they also, if you guys have seen our Reefapalooza video, we're there. See some rainbow bubble tips here, along with some rock flowers. See, they had a few different grades that they were selling. Some nice ones mixed in there. Really nice orange yellow one there. Probably my favorite one they had. Next up, they had some of their encrusters, as well as some mushrooms and some Duncans. See, they brought a lot of different encrusters. They also had a bunch of different acans. So you can see they're all super nice and fluffy, which is great to see. Love seeing a happy acan, all fluffed out. On this rack were some of their Zoas. You can see some Bam Bams, some Rainbow Hornets, some Rastas, some King Midas as well. In this tank were some of their hammers. As you can see, they had a bunch of different color variations, some gold, some green, some splatters. On this rack were their acros. They had some really nice acros, some tenuouses. You can see the cherry bombs in the center there. Those are definitely one of my favorites. They had a bunch of different acros. As you can see, a lot of different varieties. Over here they had some of the clove polyps in the back here, as well as some leathers, some toadstools, some tree leathers. Up front were some more zoas and encrusters. You can see they had some stylostenellas, some cyphastrias, some favias. Next up is Cruisin' Aquatics. They had some On this left side, they had some zoas. They were actually from Pennsylvania, so quite the trek that they made for this show. You can see they had some really chunky zoa frags, nice to see, as well as some Recordia mushrooms over here, and some acans on this other rack here. Some nice chunky frags that were nice and fluffy. A lot of different varieties, some of the frost skirts and pink ones. Over here on this rack were a couple of Montes, as well as some little Lobos, some Blastos, some Black Star polyp, some Clove polyps, as well as some pipe organs, some mushrooms in the back there as well. They also had some mushrooms over here, some nice Rhodactis, some of their gold hammers over here on the front of the rack, and then there were also some frog spawns over here, some splatters, some golds, some gold torches in the back there, along with some of the splatter frog spawns and a little clam there. Really nice Scully. This was probably the nicest Scully at the show, and a massive Monty colony there. Next up, we have Luis Reef. He is down in South Carolina, and as you can see, he brought a bunch of different corals, some GSP, some clove polyps, some xenia. This really nice pink lady bounce mushroom that I considered grabbing, but unfortunately didn't. That piece was definitely one of the nicest mushrooms at the show. He had some more mushrooms over here, as well as some alveoporos and some gonioporos. Some nice frags here. All those alveoporos are super chunky. You can see nice sun-kissed bounce mushroom, and some more zoas here on this left side. Nice mix of different varieties, some red rings, some rastas, as well as some Fruit Loops, and some Bob Marleys, some radioactive dragon eyes, some of the King Midases, some Utter Chaos, Stranger Things, some Grandis Pallies. Over here in this rack, he had some of his encrusters, some chalices, favias, as well as some acros. Let's see some leptostrayas as well. On this rack were some hammers and frog spawns, as well as some torches on this right side. You can see there's some gold torches, a big colony of xenia, some trachees, as well as some Venetia scullies, some big chalice back there. Next up is Bull Reef Aquaculture. He had some cabbage leathers, as well as some encrusters, some chalices, a couple of different cyphastrias, some stylostenellas, some rainbow bubble tips here. In this tank were some Montes, some Leptos, some chalices as well, Duncans, some stylos. You can see here interesting looking cyphastrias, some alveoporas, as well as some acros. I know a couple people who grabbed some acros from him. He had some digis as well on this left side, and some bird's nests, some anacroporas, some zoas, some torches, as well as some long polyp leathers. Next up is Carolina coral heads. Definitely one of the go-to places if you're looking for high-end sticks. He doesn't bring a lot, but what he does bring is absolutely gorgeous. And I usually end up picking up a high-end piece from him, and we've got some of those available on our website. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.